What up, y'all? St. Pete. So if you know me, you know that I've been preparing for these days for the last 10 years. I've given up everything except for pretty much reading and researching, listening to lectures. I don't listen to music. All I do is pretty much study for the last 10 years. So I'm ready. I'm prepared for this. I see where this is all going, and been telling people for a long time, but now it's very, very much becoming clear. So we're in the fourth quarter, folks. This is the fourth quarter. This shit is not going away. This is not going away. Even though there's nobody dying no more, all there are cases and nobody's dying. It's the common cold. It's pretty much what we're dealing with. And they are going to use this to lock the world down. You watch. They're doing it right now in Australia. They're doing it. They're building concentration camps. We'll call them that. Whatever. You want to call it, you want to use euphemisms, indoctrination, retraining camps, whatever the fuck you want to call them. But they're concentration camps. They're for people, who knows? Because in Canada they're not even saying exactly why they're going to be putting people in there. But they're building them. They've been built. FEMA camps all over this country. There's concentration camps all over this country. They've been built them, and they're empty. So if you think for a moment that this is going to go away, you have no idea what you're talking about. And all of this, mask wearing stuff, it's stupid too, because there's no science behind wearing a mask at all. It's a blankie for adults. It's adults' blanket to feel safe, because there's no science that the mask is doing anything. It says on the box that them surgical masks don't prevent viruses from spreading. So what are we talking about here, folks? People are like, oh, why? Because I don't wear a mask, and I'll fight with them. I wear it when I go to work or whatever, if that's what it is, they're paying me, but I will not wear a mask willingly anywhere. And if they do make me wear a mask, I'll probably leave. That's why I don't go to Wawa no more, because they're a bunch of fucking fascists. And remember, fascism is corporations and government working in tandem. That's what fascism is, when the government is really the corporations. The corporations and the government are working together. That's what fascism is. And that's what we have, because we have corporations. Corporations like whatever, Wawa, all these places, Walmart, thinking that they can make rules. They can make laws. Corporations don't have that power, folks. I don't know how anybody could start saying that they got a right to do this, and there's no science. So, that's a whole nother story. But I have to address this, Democrats and Republicans, man. This is the last time. I'm never going to talk about this again, because it's so stupid. It's unbelievable how people still buy into this stuff. Like, you got Democrats. Hold on. You have people that are protesting against police brutality, which is government. Okay, the police are government. So let's not get that twisted, that the police and government work hand in hand. So people are protesting against government, but yet when the government tells them to do something like wear a mask, they wear the mask. So they listen to the repressor. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever that you're now going to take advice from the people that you're protesting against, and now you're listening to them. I don't understand how. And how can you be fascist? How can you be anti-fascist when you're being supported by a corporation? There are corporations sponsoring these Black Lives Matters. That's corporate sponsored. The LLC, Black Lives Matter, is corporately funded. And it's the corporations that are oppressing people. Okay? Because remember, the government and corporations are working hand in hand. There's no difference between a corporation and a government at this point when we're talking about big corporations. I don't care what anybody says. You need to look at it. It's not even up for debate. So, you claiming to be anti-fascist, but yet you're taking an authoritarian approach. Don't you realize that the left, political spectrum, the left, is authoritarian? That's what it is. So you're being mad at authority figures, so-called authority figures, because I don't think they're authority figures anyway. I think the police are completely immoral to begin with. I'm not defending them one bit. But I'm saying is you are protesting against these authoritarians, and then you are in turn being authoritarians. But then you justify it by saying, oh, well, it's for the greater good. That's not how that works. You have just now become what it is that you want to get rid of, which is why your movement will never work. It will never work. You cannot control people. Good luck. Governments have been trying to do it forever. And I mean, the fact that people trust government, trust any government. There's never been in the history of the world of governments a government looking out for their people. Governments never have looked out for people, ever, never. Why do you think that that's going to change now? You really think that asking them to reform the police, like that's going to actually happen? Are you that naive that you think that you are going to recreate the wheel? Police were created to get slaves, to get the runaway slaves from the plantation. That's how they were created. That shit hasn't changed since then, and that ain't gonna change, ever. It's really fruitless. You gotta break out of the paradigm of the left-right paradigm. The paradigm is killing us. You think that there's only two options. In a quantum world, where we live in quantum, where there's infinite possibilities, people are like, oh, you gotta pick one. You gotta pick the right, you gotta pick the left. If you say you like this thing that he does, and you must be anti that, and it's so goofy. Like, oh, so in a world of infinite possibilities, I'm stuck with picking from the fucking the pedophile and the motherfucking rapist. What's the difference, folks? What's really the difference? The lesser of two evils bullshit. You still voting for evil. It doesn't make any sense. And the Republicans, with their QAnon, and think Trump's gonna save them. He's crazy. This plan been in motion. This plan been in motion for fucking since Babylon. And you think that this dude's gonna come in here and start changing shit. You know when it was the last time we had somebody stand up to the New World Order? It was John F. Kennedy. And they blew his fucking head off in public. That's the last time that we had a real president who was gonna actually take a stand. It's not happening, Mr. Republicans. There's no way that this America great. When America was great prior to the creation of the Federal Reserve, which happened in 1913, December 21st, 1913, is the beginning of, of the economic downcline. The economy is not getting better. I don't know why people say that shit. They regurgitate shit. How can the fucking economy be getting better when the value of the dollar is lost 90-something% since the creation of the Federal Reserve? How can it possibly get better? How is it getting better? Compared to what? It's getting better? You don't know what you're talking about. Neither one of yous. That's, And then they got the nerve to call people anarchists that these people that are fucking terrorizing communities and burning shit down. They're not anarchists. You don't know what anarchy means. No rulers. No rulers. That's what anarchy means. It don't mean no rules. That's not what anarchy means. Anarchy means that there's no centralized power. That we operate under natural law. That's the only law there is. You still think man gets to make laws? You don't know what's going on. Man does not get to say what's right or wrong down here. Only God gets to say that. Only God's rules, natural law rules down here. And that's not causing harm, not stealing, not disrupting the peace. These are the only laws that there really are. All this other bullshit is man trying to control things because they're control freaks. But you cannot control people. It's a paradox. In order to achieve order, you must relinquish control. So don't run around calling people anarchists because they're burning shit down. That's not true anarchy. True anarchists believe in natural law. We don't need to write things down on paper and be like, hey, yeah, this is written down, you know. That's bullshit. That's arcane way of thinking, that we still got to tell adults what the right thing is to do. That you as an adult still don't know what the right thing is to do. And like I said, that's natural law is not stealing. Okay? Not stealing. If you're not allowed to steal anything, then you can't grant that right to a government to let them steal my money from me every week. Because that's what they do. They steal it from me with the threat of violence and the threat of throwing me in jail if I don't pay it. That is immoral. That is fucking totalitarian. That's slavery. Let's just call it what it is. That's slavery. And you talking about anarchy. We'd be a lot better off with anarchy. Because that would mean there would be a bunch of people that don't need daddy government to fucking take care of them. Because essentially what it comes down to is that Democrats got mommy issues. Man, chill the fuck out. Democrats got mommy issues and Republicans got daddy issues. The Democrats want somebody to hug them. It's all right, you know, they were being mean to you, you know, we'll take care of them. You know, we'll come here, we'll give you a hug. It's gonna be all right. You know, Democrats got mommy issues and the Republicans got daddy issues. All right, I'll come in here and I'll take care of you. I'll come in here and fucking kill everybody and put a warhead in your forehead from a fucking ocean away, and oh yeah, I'm the big strong guy. That's essentially what we're dealing with. For you people that buy into this left-right paradigm, it's just supreme goofy that people still, adults are still buying into this, and they think that you have to make a decision. You have to pick one of them. Man, you really need to start studying, reading philosophy, studying the history of governments and the way things work, because you're never going to achieve order with more control. And that's what's coming, folks. They're coming to lock shit down. Please just listen to Klaus Schwab. Listen to what Klaus Schwab has to say. They're coming. It's going to be on and popping real soon. And, you know, there's going to be nowhere to move. So if people don't start pushing back right now, saying fuck wearing this mask, because that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning. They do it by little steps. They tiptoeing around, starting with the mask thing. And it's going to be get the vaccine. And if you're dumb enough to get the vaccine, then you're fucking dumb enough to get what comes along with it. You need to do your research. I'm done. I'm done talking about fucking politics because it's stupid. All right? If you still think that's the answers, you don't know. Like Einstein said, he said, you cannot change the situation with what got you into the situation. Something like that. Anyway, St. Pete, I'm out.